Hey, Coach, this is Coach Van with Next Play Hoops, and we're back with a video book preview. And today we're going to take a look at the dribble handoff playbook, otherwise known as DHOs. And in this playbook, we give you 631 pages of basketball plays and drills. We give you over 300 dribble handoff plays for you to choose from, and a ton of counter plays depending on how the defense is playing you. We also give you 100 different drills that you can use to teach your players in practice the proper reads and being able to shoot coming off a dribble handoff and whatnot. So, and even to work on your passing of and how to execute a dribble handoff. So we also give you some over 100 different Chicago action plays. If you're not familiar with Chicago action, I've done a video on it. We actually have a specific book on it as well. Some people call it Zoom action, but we call it Chicago action, and it's extremely effective. So if you're not familiar with it, you can go check out that video. But let's go ahead and take a look. As always, we're going to start off in the table of contents. The second half of the book, we'll take a look at some of the diagrams and the plays that we have in the book. So we'll go ahead and start here with the table of contents. And we start off with our transition break and our secondary offense. And we talk about our 21 offense and our pistol continuity offense, and then we give you a bunch of counters out of both of those, and then we get into our DHO action plays. And with our DHO action plays, that's just a ton of plays. You can see we almost have or we have 170 different plays that we give you, or pages of plays, and that comes from a multitude of different alignments, whether it's a 4 out 1 in, a 5 wide 5 out, maybe it's a numbered break or what have you. So a lot of different plays that you can run no matter what offense you run with your program. And then we get into our Boston Flip and our dribble series, and both of those are our terminology. That's our vocabulary. Those are specific series to us. The dribble is a weave. Boston Flip is just kind of that's just kind of how we initiate a series that we have. We also have a Boston series, and then we got a Boston Flip series. So we can apply our Boston Flip to anything that we run in our Boston series. And it's just, again, it's just to try to get the defense uncomfortable, try to get them to communicate with one another. And that one brief second that they kind of miscommunicate can give us potentially an advantage. So then right after we get into our Boston Flip and our dribble series, we're going to go right into our drills. So you can see here, we start to give you different drills that will work on our 21 and pistol action. And then we give you some Chicago drills to work on the Chicago action. And then we give you some dribble action drills to work on our dribble weave action. And then we didn't want everything to be offense. You also need to know how to defend against DHOs. And so we give you over 35 pages in some different ways to defend against the DHO, whether it's switching or going underneath and knowing the personnel of and having a pretty good scout on the team that you're going to go up against. So that's the table of contents. Now let's go ahead and take a look inside the book. Again, you'll see here we have our transition break is what we start off with. And then we get into this one here is our early offense, or BYU is what we call it. It's just a pistol continuity offense. And you can see number 1 dribbles into a DHO with number 2, and then it gets an immediate pick and roll from number 5. And if number 2 cannot turn the corner and attack or hit 5 on the roll, then he's just going to pass to number 4, almost like Euro ball screen action. And then we kind of go to continuity on the other side, and you'll see 5's just going to kind of follow the ball. 4 goes into DHO with number 3, and then 5 sets an immediate pick and roll. You might have to space out a little bit. So if you notice here too, all of our frames are color coded, very easy to decipher what's happening on the court. We also give you full descriptions below each frame, whether it's teaching points that you might want to be teaching your players in practice. But you can also bring these to practice with you or the game. They're printable. You can share them with your coaches, but they work on a desktop, a laptop, an iPad, and an iPhone. So you can take them anywhere with you. So that's just kind of our BYU continuity. Then we give you a bunch of different counters out of that. Again, our 21 action. Then we get into our pistol offense. and some different plays that we want to run out of pistol in our transition break or our early transition break. Remember, every single one of these plays has a DHO involved in it. And here is our DHO plays here. So you can see here, we give you 5 different pages of table of contents here of just dribble handoff plays. And you can see here's our one. We give you a couple DHOs. Our one is our Euro ball screen. Now, obviously, anything you do in your Euro ball screen, instead of making that pass, you can actually turn that into a DHO, but we just give you a couple here. You'll see our 21 plays. Here's our 5 wide and 5 out. So if you like to run the 5 wide or the 5 out, this would be the section that you would want to go to. And we also have more plays. You'll see this too once we get to our dribble and our Chicago section that actually fall into these categories. But we wanted to separate that into subcategories so you could specifically find what it is that you're looking for. Blocker mover. Here's our Boston series. We got some out of the box set. Our Carolina numbered break, if you just want to get in some DHOs there. Here's some dribble elbow, which means a weave, and then into making an elbow pass. Elbow horn sets, horns cross back, our Spartan, which is in the Princeton family, our point series you'll see here, whether it's point over. Then we also give you a ton of plays out of baseline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds plays that will transition directly into a DHO or a quick hitter or a play or a continuity offense or whatnot. So we don't just give you a bunch of quick hitters, but we also give you or half court plays, but we also give you some out of the baseline and sideline out of bounds as well. So that's the just the kind of basic dribble handoff, and you'll see that section here. Tons of plays, tons of options. And again, when you're going through these things, if you're looking for some, okay, you got to look at your team's personnel. You're obviously not adding all of these plays. You're going to want to take a look at it and see what plays you can fit into your personnel there. Here's our Chicago section. You can see here we almost have 4 plays, 4 full table of contents, pages of table of contents just in our Chicago action. Again, you see our 21 and our 5 wide and our 5 wide delay. Boston, you're seeing Carolina, you're seeing all the same sets, but now these are all going to have Chicago action in them. So let's just go ahead and take a look at one quick little play here. Very simple set here. This, you can think the Joker with the Denver Nuggets, or you can think Draymond Green here, whether they're bringing the ball up in transition, if you have a player who can do that. If you don't, maybe number 1 comes down the court and then just makes that pass to 5 and then goes and sets a pin down away. This is Chicago action right here. So whether we make a pass to 5 or 5's dribbling that ball, he's going to dribble at. Number 1 is setting a pin down here for number 2. So X2 is going to have to fight through the screen and then fight through this DHO. And the DHO, 5 is going to roll, 2 is trying to attack, and then 1 is going to lift behind. So how does the defense want to play this? And that's what we go into later in the book, but that's what makes it extremely hard to defend, because if X1, if you look at frame 2 here, comes in and cheats in on number 5, then number 2 is going to have a throwback pass for a wide open shot here for number 1. Now, if X1 decides to stay home, then we could potentially put pressure on X5 and maybe throw a lob pass here or a bounce pass on the pick and roll, and we got a 2-on-1 advantage as X2 is maybe trying to curl around that DHO. Again, it depends how you want to defend it, but you can see it's a 3-man game on this side of the floor. And then if you want, you can have 3 and 4 interchange, or you just got them spaced ready for a drive and kick. So if X3 steps here, we can make that pass. We might have the one more pass and whatnot. So this is very, very simple, but can be very hard to guard. Now, obviously, if you dive in a little bit, and maybe I can show you another play that's a little more complicated than that gets into some Chicago action. Let me see if I can find I don't know. Here's this is one we sometimes run out of our secondary break. It's called Corner Chicago. And this is in our corner series. So what we do is we pass and we send our point guard through, and then we just swing the ball. You can see 2 to 4, and then we pass the ball to 3, typically to 1, and we go into our corner action. But on this one, we just pass the ball back to 4. So this is kind of a decoy. And then 3 is going to go down to set the screen for 1. And then we're in our Chicago action. 4 dribbles over, DHOs with number 1. And you can do a couple different things here. Number 4 can roll and 3 can lift, or 4 can go set another screen and 3 can come up and then 4 can slip. So you got some options in what you can do there. You can see here we go into frame 5 though. If we don't have any of that, number 1 can then kind of retreat, dribble out, and then get a screen from 4 and then come off that as 4 rolls. Or we can even make a pass here. You can see here we have option B, that's the pick and roll if we want. And then option C, we can kind of go into point over action where 4 will flash, we'll hit 4 and then go over and then set a screen. 3 can curl that or come off in Chicago action again as 4 dribbles that. You got a choice. Here's kind of what can happen here too in the point over. You can make that pass there and then 1 can go over and maybe like pinch post action. So you got some different options within one play. Again, that's just one play, and we give you multiple options out of it. So again, over 100 plays just in the Chicago action alone. Here's our Boston flip series. I'll give you a quick look at this. This one's Carolina flip because we do it early in transition, where we got our numbered break, a 1-4-3, 2 wings over here, and then we got our rim runner that comes down to the strong side block. But number 1's just going to go into a flip action, and we're going to just flip DHO to number 4, and 4 is going to attack downhill as 5 clears. If X5 step up to help off, then we got a dump off pass to number 5 for a land. If we can't turn the corner and get there, or they do a good job of switching or communicating, then number 4 is just going to go directly into a DHO with number 2, and number 2 will now attack. And if he's looking to try to turn the corner, number 4 can roll. And if we can't get that, we can pass the ball to 1, and then we got a step up screen by number 5 who will set a screen and roll, and then number 1's attacking. So again, just one play. That's out of Boston flip. We can run that out of Carolina 4 flip, and it just kind of gives you it keeps the defense guessing constantly. So now we have our dribble series, and then you'll see we get into our drill section, and this is our 21 pistol and our DHO drills. We kind of start with a 1-on-1, we got a 2-man, 2-on-2, 2-on, and so forth. But we have a lot of drills in here where we work on our reads, and we want to teach our players the proper reads to be making. And here's our Chicago action drills. Again, proper reads. We give you some defensive drills in here as well, how you want to defend that. Our point over Chicago action we go over. So anything that's in this book offensively, we give you the drills to help break it down. And here's our dribble action drills. And again, that's our weave. We work on it offensively, we work on it defensively, and then we talk about defending against DHOs and how we want to defend against it. And that's something, depending on scouting and who you're playing, is going to really depend on how you want to defend against it. But that's it. 633 pages of dribble handoffs. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me at coachvan@nextplayhoops.com. And if you're not using the DHO, you're definitely going to want to start to use it. And if you're not using it and you don't want to use it, you're going to have to know how to defend it. So we'll see you at the next video. Thanks, Coach.